Hello and welcome to Courts Today by Live Law. Let us get to today's top legal updates. After the Delhi High Court slammed Sharbat Jihad remarks, Baba Ramdev has agreed to take down videos against Rooh Afza. Regarding BJP MP Nishikant Dube's remarks, a plea has been filed in the Supreme Court seeking removal of social media content derogatory to judiciary. The Attorney General has told the Supreme Court that the Tamil Nadu governor judgment does not cover Kerala's plea on bill's assent. The Kerala High Court has said that children in custody battle should be called to court only in unavoidable situations and must be treated with highest dignity and privacy. And the Supreme Court has pulled up a deputy collector who demolished slum dwellers' huts in violation of a High Court order. I am Urvashi Chauhan with your daily roundup of legal updates from across the country. For detailed reading, you can always visit www.livelaw.in. Please make sure to watch this video till the end and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. But before I get to the details, here is an exciting opportunity for the judiciary aspirants out there. Live Law Academy, that is Live Law's judiciary coaching initiative, has opened registrations for its May batch. You can choose from two tailored courses. First is JESSUP 2.0, a comprehensive 18-month online program covering everything you need to crack the judiciary exam, taught by an expert panel including retired judges. And second, JESSUP Lite, a flexible weekday-only program for those who prefer a structured yet lighter approach. Sign up today and get an exclusive 25% early bird discount. Plus, enjoy free Live Law subscriptions, case compilations, and much more. Don't miss this opportunity. Enroll today at www.livelawacademy.in. Yoga Guru Baba Ramdev and Patanjali Foods have told the Delhi High Court that they will take down all advertisements, print or video, that allegedly target Hamdard's popular drink Rooh Afza. This comes after Hamdard National Foundation filed a suit against Ramdev over his controversial remark calling Rooh Afza part of Sharbat Jihad. For those of you who do not know, the controversy started earlier this month when Ramdev, while promoting Patanjali's Rose Sharbat, claimed that money from Hamdard's Rooh Afza goes towards building madarsas and mosques. After backlash, he clarified that he had not named any brand or community. Appearing for Ramdev and Patanjali, senior advocate Rajiv Nair told Justice Amit Bansal of the Delhi High Court that the accused are not against any religion and that all such ads will be removed. However, the court has asked them to file an affidavit confirming this stand and assuring that no such remarks or advertisements would be made in the future. Justice Bansal also noted that Sharbat Jihad remark had shocked the court's conscience and was indefensible. Senior advocate Mukul Rohtagi, representing Hamdard, argued that the remark was more than just brand disparagement. It was communal and hateful and amounted to an attack on Hamdard based on religion. Rohtagi also reminded the court about previous contempt proceedings in the Supreme Court against Ramdev and Acharya Balkrishna, where they had to publicly apologize for misleading ads and comments against allopathic medicine. The High Court will now hear the matter on 1st May. Stay tuned with Live Law. BJP MP Nishikant Dube has stirred a storm with his remarks against Supreme Court and the Chief Justice of India, calling them responsible for civil unrest in the country. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear next week a petition seeking removal of social media posts and videos that allegedly make derogatory and contemptuous remarks against the judiciary. The case was mentioned today before Justice B.R. Gavai, where the petitioner's counsel urgently sought listing. He referred to statements made by Dube following two major Supreme Court interventions, one in the Waqf Amendment Act case and the other directing timelines for governors and the president to act on bills. The MP allegedly claimed that Chief Justice of India, Sanjeev Khanna, was responsible for civil wars in India and accused the Supreme Court of creating anarchy. The counsel told the court that after these remarks went viral, derogatory phrases were being circulated widely on social media. He also pointed out that despite sending letters to the Attorney General and Solicitor General, no action had been taken by the government. He added that the government has remained silent and the videos continue to spread across the country. Justice Gavai has now directed the matter to be listed for hearing next week. In a related development, an advocate on record has written to the Attorney General R. Venkataramani seeking sanction to initiate criminal contempt proceedings against MP Nishikant Dube. In the letter, the advocate pointed out that Dube's statements are not only derogatory and provocative, but amount to scandalizing the Chief Justice and attempting to incite public unrest. Amid all this backlash, let me also tell you BJP National President JP Nadda clarified that Dubey's remarks were his personal opinion and not the party's official stance. The Supreme Court will now examine the petition next week. Stay tuned. The Supreme Court has heard a plea by the Kerala government challenging delays by the governor in granting assent to bills passed by the state legislature. Senior advocate K.K. Venugopal, appearing for Kerala, argued that the issue is already covered by the recent Tamil Nadu governor's judgment, where the top court laid down timelines for governors to act on bills, including a 3-month time limit for referring bills to the president based on a government circular. But the centre has disagreed. Attorney General R. Venkataramani and Solicitor General Tushar Mehta told the bench that Kerala's case involves different facts and is not directly covered by the Tamil Nadu judgment. The Attorney General informed the court that the centre would like to present the factual differences in Kerala's case, which, in their view, set it apart from the Tamil Nadu governor's matter. The bench of Justices P.S. Narasimha and Joy Malya Bagchi said that it will examine if the Tamil Nadu ruling applies to Kerala's situation or if it needs to be heard independently. Venugopal also informed the court that there is another pending writ petition filed by the state of Kerala. This one challenges the president's decision to withhold assent to 4 bills referred by the governor after the 2023 petition was filed. The Chief Justice of India has directed that the second petition be listed on 13th May, and the Kerala Council urged for both petitions be tagged together. The court said that a mention must be made before the CJI for the same. The current petition is now listed for hearing on 6th May. Let me tell you here, the matter goes back to November 2023 when the Supreme Court issued notice in the Kerala governor's case. Soon after, the governor referred several bills to the president. In February last year, the president withheld assent to 4 bills, including multiple amendments to university laws and the Kerala Cooperative Societies Act. 3 other bills were approved. Kerala then moved the Supreme Court again in 2024, challenging both the governor's referral and the president's refusal. This second case is the one coming up on 13th May. Taken aback by a child's heartbreaking words about feeling like a chattel of dispute, the Kerala High Court has issued strong directions to protect children from the trauma of court appearances in custody battles. In a deeply moving judgment, the High Court has come down strongly on exposing children to court environments during custody disputes. This comes after a 9-year-old boy involved in a custody battle told the judges that he felt dehumanized and stigmatized by being made to appear in court like an object in parental fight. A division bench of Justice Devan Ramchandran and Justice M.B. Snehalata said that children should only be called in courts in extraordinary situations and with great caution. Even for counseling or legal procedures, they should be treated with dignity and not made to wait endlessly. The court said that they must be given preference wherever possible. The judges also said that exchanges of custody should happen at neutral places rather than court premises, unless absolutely necessary. This, they said, would reduce stress on children who often dread coming to courts. The bench shared how, through their interactions, many children have expressed that court visits make them feel like they're being paraded as articles, not humans. The court also criticized both parents and the judiciary for often overlooking the emotional toll such disputes take on kids. In this particular case, the court was dealing with the custody of a 9-year-old boy. Originally, the custody was with the mother, with the father having visitation rights. But later, the allegations from both sides and fresh order granting the father more time, the mother moved the High Court. When the child was brought to the chambers, he clung to his mother and refused to engage with his father. He told the judges how much he hated coming to the court. Shocked by this, the High Court restored the original custody order in favor of the mother and changed the handover location from the court to a neutral venue. The court emphasized that children must be protected from becoming collateral damage in matrimonial disputes. And lastly, the Supreme Court has come down heavily on a deputy collector from Andhra Pradesh for defying High Court orders and forcibly removing huts of slum dwellers in Gantur, displacing families in blatant contempt of court. The court has strongly criticized the deputy collector, who was earlier working as a tehsildar, and said that it was a clear case of contempt and warned that such officers cannot consider themselves above the law. For background, the Andhra Pradesh High Court had earlier directed that slum dwellers must not be disturbed while their applications for house sites were pending. But the officer here went ahead and had their huts forcibly demolished, even bringing in 88 police personnel to carry out the operation. The High Court sentenced him to 2 months simple imprisonment for contempt of court. He then approached the Supreme Court for relief. During the hearing, a bench of Justices B.R. Gawai and A.G. Masih questioned his conduct sharply. Even when the officer's lawyer pleaded for leniency, saying that he had two minor children, Justice Gawai reminded that the slum dwellers he displaced also had children. The bench said that if not for taking a lenient view, they would not have entertained the petition at all. The court has now issued notice and has stayed the sentence temporarily, but it has indicated that the officer may still face jail time, pay compensation to affected persons, and suffer demotion.